Hi, I'm David Nicholson, Mark's brother. Happy birthday, Mark. Mark and I are like a year and a half apart, so that kind of like makes us Irish twins. And you know, when you're that close in age and you're brothers, it's sometimes things could get a little difficult. I mean, we'd be like best friends one second and then worst enemies the next, just depending on kind of the dynamic of whether friends were around and stuff like that. But mostly, him and I were best friends, and we still are. I can't imagine my life without my brother. He's responsible for so much of who I am, and as well as the rest of my family. So I decided to take my camera out the last week or so and gather some stories from his friends and family. So I hope this isn't too embarrassing.
How's it going? My name's Colton Gould. I've known Mark for at least 25 years. He's been like a little brother to me. I got a lot of fun times and a lot of memories with him. When we were little kids, we used to play Little League, and he always had to be Mark McGuire, you know, because he's Mark, and I had to be Jose Canseco. So I always wanted to be Mark McGuire, and he just wouldn't let me. So I'm still dealing with that issue.
I'm Luigi Balsamo. I've known Mark since we were probably 6 years old in leotards gymnastics in the early 80s with Pete Gruber as our gymnastics coach. I just wanted to think of a good story that kind of sums up me and Mark's relationship. And I think it's a good story. It sort of represents me and Mark's relationship in the sense that we're always pushing the boundaries together. We grew up together in these sort of formative years, and we were always there to support each other and always at each other's side. And the story that I'm thinking of is back in, I don't know, in the mid-90s in high school, we were up at the concentration camp party up Highway 20, and me and Mark were fortunate enough to be with my sister and her boyfriend while he was leaving the party drunk, and we all got put in the back of a cop car, and me and Mark figured out a way to sort of open the door up and run out. We were so terrified running through the woods, and we just broke out of this cop car. My sister's boyfriend got arrested, and we're hiding from every light thinking people are chasing us, and me and Mark were just there like shivering, hiding, like taking care of each other, and we had to walk like 6 miles back through the whole night down Highway 20, hiding from every car that came. I mean, here we were high school kids, just jumped out of the back of a cop car and thought we were fugitives, and we get all the way to the phone booth down Highway 20, and we're just cold, stayed up all night, walked through the whole night, hiding from every car, terrified that we're gonna get arrested or in trouble or caught. And we call up my dad to come pick us up, and little did we know, my dad had already known from my sister getting dropped off what happened to us. So he picks us up, and he goes, "Okay, you guys are busted. We're going straight to jail. You're going to jail." Me and Mark were just deflated, and my dad looks back at us and goes, "Psych!" But he's all, "But you are grounded for the whole rest of the summer." So, and I can just say that, you know, that's just one story. There's probably a million others, but Mark's always been a super important piece of my life, and we learned so much from each other. I would literally say a big part of my personality comes from being with Mark during those developing years, and he's you know, just taught me so much about how to be so loving and, you know, caring with people around you, and kind of had that infectious personality and attitude. And I think Mark's just such a wonderful person, and I just wanted to you know, take a little moment and tell him what a great influence he's been on my life, and that I love you, Mark.
My name's Jamie, and I've known Mark for, I really can't say when, but forever, probably back in the early 20s, so maybe 15, 17 years. We met through mutual friends on a rad-ass wheeling trip. First trip on the Rubicon, super awesome. That's my roof that I used my super Polish wit to tear off right before a rainstorm. Kind of wish Marco was here to help me shingle it, since we laid a record-setting amount of shingles over and over and over again back in the major roofing days. Hey bud, we're gonna have to sit in the broken down bus again, blast some tunes to get the sheriffs called on us, so we can laugh at him and tell him that the bus is fucking awesome again. soon to come. Oh, excuse me, 1 second. I realized I'm out of beer. Aha, there we go. Cheers, buddy.
So I'm Gabriel Burns. I met Mark probably 5 years ago, through his dad, actually. Kind of a funny story. His dad was in my yard, and I was kind of being an asshole, really, because he was on the phone with my real estate lady, and I overheard him trying to buy my house. And things were kind of tense at first, and then we ended up sitting down talking for at least 2 hours, you know, about treasures and life. And yeah, and then I met Mark. He came over and brought the excavator, flat bill, walked up looking like this, all the way down, and we just became true friends from there on out. You know, our boys are best friends. We got a lot in common, and just an all-around real good guy. Well, Mark, happy birthday, buddy. I bet you weren't expecting this.
Mark's dad here. I've got some wonderful things to say about Mark. Happy birthday, first of all. You have been a very amazing son. You worked with me for so many years, and you did so well in contracting, and you became the youngest contractor that I've ever known. And you just are pretty amazing. And I just have one story about Mark that, you know, comes to mind. And it's the time when he and I were working on a roof together, and I was on a piece of plywood, and it started sliding off the roof, probably to my death. And Mark reached out his hand and grabbed me before I went off. And that's the heart you have, Mark. I think one half of your body is your heart, and you're a beautiful man, and happy birthday.
So my name's Eric. I've known Mark for approximately 9 years. We met through Dennis, our favorite guy. Anyways, lots of wheeling trips. I think it was definitely the first one was 2006, summer of 2006. And Mark is a great friend. Means a lot to me, I'll tell you. We've been there for a lot of good times. One thing that really stands out was our epic summer, probably 3 summers ago, and Mark and Stefan and I pretty much hung out every day till probably 9 o'clock at night on his boat surfing. That was the summer of no life jackets, which was awesome. We had a great time. Also, I guess the end of that summer, 3 summers ago, was when he met Brooke, which was probably, I would say, the best thing that happened to Mark. Mark in Landon. Brooke is an amazing girl. So really proud of him and her.
Hello, I'm Landon, and I've known my dad for all of my life, of course. And I just want to thank him for how much stuff I've done with him and how cool he is. Like taking me to Santa Cruz and taking me fishing and all the stuff like that. Thank you so much, Dad.
Hey Mark, it's Jake. I know we've known each other for about 4 years now, and ended up marrying my sister. And we're twins, so it's technically me and you and her. So also love you as a brother, and we've had some good times, and I'm looking forward to a lifetime of many more. And happy birthday, bud.
Hey Mark, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We just want to tell this really cute story about Mark and our wedding, of course. Baby starts crying immediately.
He wants to say happy birthday.
Yeah. Henry says happy birthday, Mark. Yeah, well, Mark was one of our groomsmen, bridesmen at our wedding, and we put this box together. You want to say what's in there?
Couple of beers, couple of fancy beers. We're aging for 10 years, hopefully.
So we had to have this nailed shut during the ceremony, and we decided to pick the brawniest of our wedding party. No offense to anyone else in the wedding party. So we asked Mark to nail it shut during the ceremony, and it was supposed to be timed to a song and everything. And of course, the hammer that I gave him was like this tiny little girl frilly hammer, and we had these tiny little delicate nails. So he saw the hammer and was like, "What? I have to do it with that?" So I think he had to go practice before the ceremony because he was nervous that it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, it's a crappy little hammer.
Yeah, it was awful. I feel bad. But he did it, and it was perfect. It worked out great, and we even got a couple sweet photos of it. So thank you, Mark, and we love you.
Happy birthday.
I'm Buffy Nicholson, and I'm the mom. Mark is the youngest of 3 children. The story I was going to share is about a bicycle. For David, Mark's brother's 6th birthday, he received a brand new bicycle, a Schwinn bicycle, and David was very happy. Now, Mark was 4.5 at the time, and he had just taught himself how to ride a 2-wheeler because he wanted to be like his brother. But his ride was his sister's pink girl's bicycle, and Mark was not happy. And he was very not happy. And for about 2 weeks, he made the entire family not happy. And he bugged and bugged and bugged his brother for being able to use his bicycle. And finally, after about 2 weeks, we kind of gave up and we went out and bought him a bicycle. And I know that's terrible parenting, but we just needed to make peace in the family. So anyway, what I really want to share is happy birthday, Mark. Love you, so proud of you. You're a good, kind, generous sweetheart. And I just want to say I wish you all the best and all the blessings that you could possibly handle.
I'm Brooke Nicholson, Mark's wife. I was going to tell you a story about when I first realized that I found someone I could spend the rest of my life with. It was a weeknight. Mark had done his the nightly ritual with Landon, put him to bed, bath time, eating. It seemed like a normal night. I showed up and it just felt different. Mark had his head in his hands, and I'm of course immediately concerned, and I asked him what was wrong, and he said, "I'm a single dad, take me or leave me." And I immediately thought about my dad and how he raised 3 kids on his own for many, many years before my stepmom came into the picture. But I just saw raw strength. I saw so much of my dad, the fact that he could humble himself, as a young, early 30s, on top of the world man, and to tell someone that he cared about, that spoke volumes. And I just, in that moment, I thought to myself, man, I would be the luckiest girl in the world if he chose to love me back. Here we are years later. I couldn't be happier. It's such a blessing to know that I found someone that really meant forever. When they said it, happy birthday, I love you, you're stuck with me now.